Prue Acton set up her own fashion house in Melbourne in 1963. A year later, when she was just 21, she was selling 1,000 dresses a week. Her fashion's made a splash around the world. She's won awards, including an OBE. She's designed Olympic uniforms and featured on a postage stamp. More recently, she's made her home on the South Coast, and her life and work take inspiration from the local environment. She's in Canberra to launch an exhibition of photography and attend a forest and climate change forum at the ANU. Prue Acton spoke with Kate Evans.
Slow down, you move too fast. You got to make the morning last. Just kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy.
Well, it was fun, I must say, but actually it was really hard work. I was very lucky, very early, and I had a wonderful stage mother who decided that she would take my clothes to New York and then to Tokyo. So by the time I'd been in business for just a few years, I was #1 designer in America in junior fashion and hugely successful in Tokyo. It was incredible.
All the kids who I was supplying, all the 18 to 20-year-olds, said, hey, that's what I want to look like. And overnight we were cutting the skirts. We were cutting 2 inches off, and the next week another 2 and another 2. By Christmas we were up to something quite disgusting, just covering the bum.
People thought it was probably incredibly glamorous, but no. Every weekend and every holiday I'd be out in the bush. That's my true love.
So what were you doing when you were out in the bush?
Oh, camping, just dagging out, drawing, painting, writing poetry, playing with my kids, swimming, having a ball. Every trip I'd make, maybe out to the outback, where I'd be painting, then I'd come back to the studio and analyse the colours that I'd seen out there, because colour is what drives me as an artist, and did as in fashion and in cosmetics.
I feel like dancing, dancing, dancing the night away. I feel like dancing, dancing.
The 70s were pretty amazing times. The 60s was fun and mad and youthful, but the 70s were quite philosophic. So we were against sexism, racism, too much globalisation, and war, of course. So we were constantly thinking about our philosophy of life, and that set the tone for us, for Australia, to start thinking about taking our inspiration from the colours of the Australian bush.
So I guess fashion and art have been political for you for a long time.
I think you're quite right. Fashion actually tells us about what's important in our life. It's actually the garments that we wear for very important transitions, from when we're teenagers through to when we have our first job, when we have our 21st birthday, when we get married, when we get divorced, when we have babies, all those things. So fashion sets that moment in time very well for people. They remember that day. But fashion also tells us, well, I think it tells us about the aspirations of the time. It tells us about women's place in society, which is why in the late 70s, the shoulders became huge, and that was about women having the right to have muscles, to have power. So that was a really strong political statement.
Wake me up before you go. Don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Wake me up before you go. I don't want to miss.
So now you're bringing your artistic side together with your activist side to organise an exhibition in Canberra. What's that about?
I think it is fascinating how what can make change happen. We say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So recently I was thinking, We need that iconic photo. If we're going to save the forests, and in particular where I'm living now, which is the far south coast, and all those forests around the Eden chip mill, which are gradually being chipped away and just exported as for cheap copy paper, and putting at risk our last 30 to 50 koalas, our coastal koalas. Our exhibition, Natural Forests, Australia's Wilderness Coast, is open now in Canberra. It is about, I suppose about 30 or 40 fantastically beautiful photographs. Australia's southeast forests are the most carbon dense in the world. It is critical that we look after what's left. We've cleared 50% and we're still logging the rest.
And you're involved in organising a forum at the ANU on this topic as well.
We have a perfect opportunity with the announcement of the Biodiversity Fund, almost $1 billion, with the announcement of the inclusion of native forests in the carbon farming initiative. That means that carbon in our forests must be counted, and our native forests, if we just leave them in the ground, are the best carbon stores we have. So there's money there, and we believe this is a perfect opportunity for people to come to the forum, to hear the science and think about the way forward to protect our environment. I know people think fashion is just surface. It's not. It's absolutely critical to how we express ourselves. Art is the same, and the thing that binds me is beauty. I see the beauty of everything. And when we lose the way the parts all fit together, when we lose the integrity of a forest, or we lose the integrity of a city, we lose the beauty. It's ugly. And we all, at a deep emotional level, get that.
Prue Acton is an internationally known fashion designer and manufacturer of With It girls' gear. But while her competitors are falling over themselves producing platforms, for Prue Acton, they're definitely out.
I think we were the first to do platform shoes, and we've stopped now. I found them very uncomfortable, very dangerous, always falling over.
We've found an old film of you talking about platform shoes in the 1970s, but have you always been alternating those with hiking boots?
I have. I've been living a dual life. Weekends, holidays, always in the country or at the coast. And during the week, platform shoes. It's funny, you know, just designing a pair of shoes, it's something you do with your hands. And I do think that art is absolutely critical to us as humans. It's how we see our past. It's how we can see our future. And if we don't allow our children to actually muck around with their hands and make things and paint things and make music and make theatre, then we are denying our next generation the languages that are art. For me, of course, beauty is my God, I suppose.
The Forest and Climate Forum is being held this Saturday all day at the John Curtin School of Medical Research.